What's going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. We got some crazy news to talk about. eBay's doing some crazy stuff. As always, we're going to look into the UK and US markets, track everything that's been going on over the last week with sealed product. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Let's get into it. Okay, so before we have a look today at what's going on with the Pokemon markets in the EU, UK and the US markets, we're going to have to talk about this absolutely crazy thing that just got announced and dropped by eBay in the last couple of days. So as of 5 days ago, so the 1st of October 2024, it is now free to use eBay as a private seller in the UK. I'm talking no fees to list, no final transaction fees. This is absolutely huge. So this is just in the UK at the moment. I would imagine they're just trialing it to see how it works. The UK is obviously a smaller market and they probably want to test it on smaller markets before potentially rolling this out to the US. If this hits the US as well, this is going to be nuts. So at the moment, or up until recently, as you know, you had to pay around about 12-13% of the final value fee when you're selling something on eBay. So if you're selling a booster box of, say, Evolving Skies for 700, you'll have to divide by 100 times it by 13. You'd have to pay a £91 final transaction fee to eBay. That's now gone, completely wiped. 0%. I haven't actually tested this because I haven't sold anything in the last 5 days, but it's all over Facebook. I'm parts of different Facebook selling and trading groups, not just Pokemon but other things as well. People are uploading screenshots. Seems to be legit. So free to list, no final transaction fees, so no 13-14% you'd have to pay on selling your Pokemon products. If this hits the US market as well, this is going to change the Pokemon selling and trading market so much, because it's just going to mean that so many stuff becomes so much more liquid because people can just buy and sell it without fees. It's absolutely bonkers. I'm so happy that this is happening to the UK market, and I hope that for my US listeners as well, that it's about to hit you guys as well. I'm hoping that this is just a trial from eBay and it gets rolled out across the pond too, because it's absolutely nuts and it would be huge for the Pokemon hobby. Absolutely huge if there's no fees. It'd be huge as well for like the singles market, the slabs market. It'll affect everything. It's absolutely nuts. So if you're in the UK right now, the market's about to go crazy. Like, I'm telling you, booster boxes, everything, there's going to be so much more flooding onto the market. There's going to be so many more bargains to get because no one's going to be paying fees anymore. Absolutely mad. eBay kind of came out of nowhere, but you know, this is why you subscribe on the channel, because I always keep you up to date with all that information. As soon as I hear anything about, or any rumours about this hitting the US markets as well, which I expect it will do, I'll let you guys know straight away. Okay, off of that craziness into Surging Sparks. So we're looking forward to Surging Sparks now. Surging Sparks is going to get a release in about 4 to 5 weeks time, in the start to mid-November, and we've seen a few more cards now revealed than what we had beforehand. We saw rumours recently of the full art sort of Terra Pikachu, which has been confirmed now. Beautiful looking card, and it's just a normal full art in the set. We can see a few more of the cards. We haven't seen the full set yet, but we got a few more. I'll just quickly whiz through. These are the special illustration rares. We had seen most of these before, like the Executor, etc. But this Pikachu is new. This is the first time I've seen this. So a SIR Pikachu, which is clearly going to be one of the main chase cards of the set. It's a beautiful looking card, really cool. I'm sure all the Pikachu collectors out there will want that. And then obviously we've got the gold cards that we've seen before as well. This Executor gold card is really nice. I really like it personally. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly show you Surging Sparks, because we can see a little bit more of that set now. As soon as we get the full set list out, we'll obviously show you and keep you updated on that as well. Let's have a look then at the markets. We'll start off with the UK market as always, and then we'll start looking at the US market too. So if you're a US viewer, please do just stay tuned and I'll point out some bargains for you guys as well. In the UK market, sorry, there is still Fusion Strike booster boxes available for retail price, which is absolutely insane. It is easily the best deal out there. It's nuts that they are still available. I don't understand why they're still available. There's obviously a lot of them there because it's been available for weeks and weeks and weeks since the restock. We say every week. This is easily, if you're in the UK, one of the safest places to park your money if you're looking at buying some sealed product. Fusion Strike is a brilliant set, and to pick it up for retail is nuts. As soon as it went out of stock in the US, the price really started to skyrocket up, closer to $200 a box. I expect the same thing to happen in the UK. So you still got a little bit of time to get into Fusion Strike until the stock goes. I do expect this is the absolute last wave of stock. I don't know how much is left, but as soon as it's gone, and I don't expect it to ever get reprinted again. So get in while you can. Other options available, these are ultra modern. You can usually pick these up for a little bit under retail from third-party sites, but we're focusing really on Sword and Shield, because Sword and Shield's at that point where it's out of that reprint window. So to be able to still pick it up for retail prices means you're very close to it being not available at all, and that's generally when you see a really big spike up in price. Brilliant Stars falls into that category. I do think Brilliant Stars is really going to start pumping up in price soon. Again, once it goes out of stock. There has been a little bit of a secret restock over about a month ago in the UK, which is why we're still seeing some in stock. I don't know how much it restocked by, but that's why it's still available for retail. There's a bit of it about still. Same thing happened in the US markets. As soon as Brilliant Stars went out of stock, it really started to spike up in price to around about $180, $190 a box. But we'll get into all of those booster boxes and the US prices in a moment. I'm just showing you what's in stock from the official Pokemon Center at the moment. Astral Radiance is also a good play from the Sword and Shield. It's a real sleeper set. People don't really talk about Astral Radiance that much, but it is a solid set, and I don't think many people are putting it away either. So it's all about supply and demand, sometimes putting away the less talked about sets, but still a strong set can be a really good route forward. Silver Tempest is out of stock as well still. Silver Tempest being out of stock is quite an interesting one, because you can still pick it up for retail in other places, but it seems like the stock is pretty much drying up everywhere. So the secondary market is the only place you can pick it up now, and it does have one of the most fire alt art chase cards of Sword and Shield, and I do think Silver Tempest is going to do really well long term. So it's really interesting to see that Pokemon Center have it out of stock now. I would expect to see the secondary market start to pump on it probably over the next 6 to 8 months. Okay, let's not talk about battle styles. Don't put your money in battle styles. I don't need to say any more about that. It's not a great place to park your money. Let's have a look at the US markets then. US markets, don't be upset that you can't buy Fusion Strike for retail, because we'll go into some alternative options for you in a moment. The top row is obviously just ultra modern stuff from the Scarlet and Violet era. Again, Temporal Forces is ultra modern. Now you can buy Silver Tempest, whereas we can't in the UK right now. We haven't seen that increase in price in Silver Tempest yet, and Silver Tempest, along with Vivid Voltage and Battle Styles, are your last Sword and Shield sets that are available for retail. I think that Silver Tempest is the best out of Vivid Voltage and Battle Styles when you compare them as sets, obviously because you've got that Chase Lugia card, which is holding a decent price in a PSA 10 and even a raw value as well. I do expect, I kind of put Silver Tempest and Brilliant Stars into the same bracket. As soon as Brilliant Stars went out of stock in the US, Brilliant Stars really started to climb up in price. I expect that Silver Tempest will do the same. I don't think it will be anywhere near your Evolving Skies, your Lost Origin, but it will be falling in the sort of subclass just behind that, and I do think that all Sword and Shield will slowly just start to rise over time as stock sort of disappears. Vivid Voltage, I wouldn't put your money in. It is better than Battle Styles. Not necessarily set-wise is it better than Battle Styles. I'd put them similar, but Battle Styles is got a worse reputation than Vivid Voltage. And the problem with Battle Styles is it was just printed into the ground. There's so much Battle Styles around. Distributors have still got it for retail in the UK and the US. They just can't get rid of it. They can't shift it. I feel like Battle Styles is going to be around for the next couple of years at retail at least. Vivid Voltage again is going to be a slow climber. It just never really had that boost in price. But if you want to look 5-6 years down the line, do I think Vivid Voltage will be double the price it is now? Yeah, probably. But what's Silver Tempest going to be? Probably more than double retail. So there's better places for you to put your money. Obviously Ultramodern is an option as well, but you run the risk that it's still in that 2-year possible reprint window. So either one of these sets could get printed into the ground and reprinted. We just don't know, and that's part of the mystery with seal collecting in Pokemon. So don't be upset if you can't buy Fusion Strike in the US booster boxes for retail, because you can pick up the packs for cheaper than it works out to get it on the booster box. So the booster boxes, I believe, are like 180, 190, something like that in the US right now for 36 packs, which works out at $5 a pack on the booster box. But you can buy it for $4 a pack, which is retail. On these sleeved booster packs. Sleeved booster packs are great for storing. It's really easy to store them and keep them nice. They're a nice size as well. They'll even fit in a little shoebox. I wouldn't recommend putting them in a shoebox because it's always better to keep them in like a little small plastic container and put some silica gel packs in there just to keep the moisture away. But yeah, really big fan of sleeved booster packs. They're really easy to sell on the secondary market afterwards as well. And you don't have to invest a huge amount of money in. If you only want to put $40 in or something, or even $20, you could just pick up 5 or 10 of these and just slowly build up your collection that way. Let's have a look at the main sets then and see price movements. We've been talking a lot about Evolving Skies in the last couple of weeks on this channel because I did call out about 3 weeks ago we were going to see a big pump in Evolving Skies. We have seen that in the UK now. The video last week really sort of details that. Not really seen it in the US at the moment. However, you are starting to climb up and creep in the US. Let's have a look and zoom out on the chart. If you can see, the absolute peak of Evolving Skies was around about June time at an average price of $700 a box. But if you actually look at last sales here on TCG Player, last sales are 704, 704, 724. We're basically at an all-time high on Evolving Skies, and you can see from the chart that it is just slowly creeping up in price. And I would expect this to continue. I think Evolving Skies is going to have a really good year in 2025 as the stock really starts diminishing. And people really start FOMOing into this set as it starts to near the $1,000 a box. I think it'll smash through $1,000 a box in 2025, but I feel like $1,000 is going to stick there for a little while because it's kind of like a psychological thing. $1,000 is such like a round number. It takes a lot for people to see it as more valuable as that. I think it will climb way up over that over the next couple of years, but I do think it's going to hit a bit of a ceiling at around about $1,000 a box for a little while. Once it breaks through that, though, you know, the sky's the limit for Evolving Skies. I really do think so. Cheapest you can buy it in the UK right now, we've been documenting this over the last couple of weeks, is now $800 a box. Now, if we rewind back, if you want to look back on my videos sort of 5-6 weeks ago, you could get these for $680 a box, $675, which is an absolute nuts profit. So £125 on a $675 box is an 18% price rise over the last sort of not even 2 months. It's gone up And that's what I was talking about with the UK market has really seen that pump in Evolving Skies, and I think it will continue as well. It really will on the UK market. I think the US market is going to creep a little bit slower, but I do think that you're going to see similar sort of growth coming soon. I do think that over the next 6 months is going to be your last chance, whether you're in the UK or the US, to buy into Evolving Skies as a booster box for under $1,000 or pounds. You can see in the UK market here right now, not many people are selling them. So the cheapest is 800, and look, there's 3 for sale at 800, and then we're at 850 straight away, and then we're at 889, and then we're basically at 900 within 5 sales. It's absolutely nuts. I think the UK might even hit $1,000 a box by Christmas. It's so hard to predict Evolving Skies because it just breaks all records and expectations time and time again. If you're thinking about investing into Evolving Skies, check out my video, I think about 3 videos back, where I do a really big deep dive on Evolving Skies. I would say be cautious if you're new to Pokemon investing. Evolving Skies is not necessarily the best thing for you to invest into, but every week I make recommendations, and if you're really considering Evolving Skies, I would recommend you check out that video, because there are other options, and buying the sealed booster box is not always the best option. Let's have a look at last sales then. So 775, which is a little bit cheaper, so that was 3 days ago. In fact 787 all in if you include postage, so a little bit of a discount on what the cheapest is right now. So you can see we're at 800 now. Okay, one of the things that I've been highlighting as well is that Elite Trainer boxes are really starting to take off. This was one of my recommendations from a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago these were at £110 a box. Now they're really bordering on 200 a box, and I do think they'll be at 200 a box very soon. They've really started to explode up in price, and I've explained sort of why I think this is. It's because people are getting priced out of these Elite Trainer boxes. They don't want to be paying 800 a box for an Elite Trainer box, whereas they might be able to afford 170, 200, and I actually think they display a lot nicer as well. Just a premium product all around that looks great on a shelf of one of the best sets we've ever had in Pokemon. So it's a bit of a no-brainer. You can still get some deals, so you can see here someone scooped one up yesterday for 143 all in. This looked like a ludicrous price 6 weeks ago, but now it looks cheap. Now you're seeing them go for like 170, 180, 140 looks like a good deal. So it's all relative to time. You know, don't feel bad if you're investing into something and you think, oh, it's too late. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's 170, 180 now, like I've missed the chance. With Evolving Skies, I really don't think so. If you're willing to put that away for up to 2-3 years, like, bear in mind that's worst case scenario, you've got to sit on it for 2-3 years. I think you'll do very well out of it, and I think you'll be surprised at what the price is even in just a few months' time. But obviously that's never a guarantee, and you need to be prepared to hold it for the longer haul to see the kind of gains that you want. Let's have a look at Fusion Strike then. Fusion Strike in the US is basically at a really basement price. I don't think it's ever going to get cheaper than this unless you get a restock. So 210 a box it's at the moment, and last sales are 213, 209, 209, 230 for a box there. I really do think you're getting a discount, because it peaked at around 243 in the summertime, and as you can see, it's sort of really dropped down in price here, and it's just finding its bottom. It's finding the bottom of the market, and I really do feel like the whole Pokemon market right now in the US and the UK is just set to explode. I feel like we're at the basement of all of the sets right now. In Sword and Shield specifically. I'm not talking about Ultra Modern Scarlet and Violet. That's a whole different ball game, because those are still getting reprinted quite heavily. As far as Sword and Shield, I feel like we're at that point now where all of the sets are the cheapest they're ever going to be. Unless we're going to see a shock reprint of anything, I think that basically every set, apart from Battle Stars and Vivid Voltage, which I wouldn't touch personally, are really good buys at the moment. Maybe not Darkness Ablaze as well, but that's a little bit of an in-joke on the channel. Okay, let's have a look at cheapest that you can pick up Fusion Strike at the moment. So Fusion Strike, you can pick it up for retail on the Pokemon Center for £143, and you can see the secondary market is a little bit more for £160. As soon as the Pokemon Center sells out, we're going to jump to that £160 price because that's the cheapest on the secondary market, and there's not that many for sale at £160. 4 or 5, and then we're at 167, then we're at 170, and it will jump pretty quickly from 170 to 200. You watch, as soon as it sells out on Pokemon Center, I think we'll be at 200 a box within a month or so after that happening. Last sales, look, they're actually selling, look, 160, 160, 170. This guy actually got a pretty good deal because he got one for 160 with an acrylic case as well, and the acrylic cases alone can go for around about £20. So pretty good deal if you're in the market for an acrylic case. There's lots of deals to be had on eBay right now if you're patient and you just stalk the market. Like I said, something like that is a pretty good deal, and I'm sure that if the equivalent came up in the US, for example, I don't know, for $180, a minty Fusion Strike with an acrylic case, it would sell almost instantly. So it just goes to show. Let's have a look at Lost Origin then. Lost Origin, while everyone else is at the bottom of their basement price and the lowest it's been for a little while, Lost Origin is actually already starting to climb again and re-establish itself. It peaked, let's see, let's zoom out a bit. So 6 months, on the 6 month chart, it peaked at $222, but you can see that we're almost back up to its peak already. Look, 209, 212. Lost Origin is really just chugging along with that Giratina alt art chase behind it. It's a really nice card, and it is one of the main chase cards for alt arts in the Sword and Shield block. I think Lost Origin will continue to do well under that steam. And something positive you can look at as well is when it peaked at around about 222, its lowest point was 188. It really didn't drop down as much as some of the other sets, and as soon as it hit these low points of around about 188, you can see it just did not stay there. It just, my mouse is annoying. It really just started to creep back up in price again because people knew that it was underpriced at 188. They knew that was a bargain, and I feel like we're at that same point with a lot of these sets now, especially if eBay decides to take fees off of the US market as well. I'm telling you, it's going to be a free-for-all. Right, Lost Origin, cheapest you can buy it in the UK right now is 190. That's actually a really good price. This is a new listing, and it's a little bit of a discount. These are going regularly for 200 a box now. As you can see, last sales 205, 190, 190, 200, 200. So where the agreed price is basically 200, if you can pick one up like this for 190, you're basically getting a 5% discount straight away, and now you're not paying UK fees as well. That's another 13% in your back pocket as well, discount on what you would have been paying to resell it. Let's talk about Astral Radiance, and Astral Radiance is one of those sleeper sets. Astral Radiance is actually available for retail from the Pokemon Center US right now, which is why you're seeing the price reflected around retail. It is a decent pickup in the US. It's not quite as desirable as Fusion Strike, but I do put them in the same class that I think that they will both perform quite well over the long term. I hedge them slightly ahead of Silver Tempest and Brilliant Stars. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with them. But again, I think we're just at this basement price right now. Is Astral Radiance ever going to be cheaper than retail $163? I really don't think so. I think it's just going to continue to creep over time. Last sales on the US TCG player is 172, 171, 171, 164. So basically just a few bucks over retail. Astral Radiance, you can still get it for so cheap here in the UK. Let's have a look at the UK Pokemon Center. Yeah, so you can pick it up for retail for 143, or you can get it on eBay for exactly the same price. The advantage of getting it on eBay is you can support a local seller, and also you can really see the pictures to make sure you get like a minty box as well, because I'm not saying Pokemon Center UK doesn't ship minty boxes, but you run more risk of it having a little bit of damage from the warehouse or in shipping. At least with eBay, you can get what you know you're going to pay for, and eBay will support you as a buyer if you're not happy when it gets to the other end. Let's have a look at Brilliant Stars then. So Brilliant Stars is an interesting set because it's been out of stock in the US for quite a while, but it's never really gone out of stock in the UK. That's why you can still get it really cheap in the UK still. If you look at when it went out of stock in the US, you can see it right here at this point on the graph. It was available for retail. As soon as it went out of stock, it really ballooned up in price and went to 181 a box. That's just average price. I saw them going for like closer to 200, around about the 190. That was the peak, and then it consolidated around here to 180 a box at around start of the summer, and it's just kind of stayed pretty stable. I really don't think Brilliant Stars, again, unless it gets a shock reprint, is ever going to be cheaper than this, and it's just going to continue to creep up in price. I do think that the UK market is yet to see that balloon up in price, but I think a similar thing will happen as soon as it goes out of stock in secondary markets and from the Pokemon Center UK, and you can't get it anymore. I think we're going to see a big run up, and it's going to go to 190, 200 a box, and then it's going to consolidate back down to around about the 180 mark, and then just slowly creep over the next couple of years, probably up to around about the 300, 350 pound range is my prediction for the end of 2025. So you can still pick it up on eBay for around about 150 for the cheapest, but you can buy it from Pokemon Center for 143. Similar price, but like I said, you can have a look at these ones on eBay and check the seals and stuff like that, and it's a lot easier to return on eBay as well. Let's have a look at Silver Tempest then. So Silver Tempest is one of the last sets that's available for retail in the US from Pokemon Center. So you really haven't seen that run up in price. I'd put it up there with Brilliant Stars in the similar category. I think the same thing will happen as what happened with Brilliant Stars that we've just been through. Once it sells out in the US, I think you're going to see a run up to around about $200 a box, and then it's going to consolidate down to around about 180. Silver Tempest is a really solid set in my opinion. Obviously you've got the Chase Lugia card. If I was talking about Brilliant Stars before and the Lugia card, I didn't mean the Lugia card. I meant the Charizard card. You guys knew what I meant. The Chase Lugia card is in Silver Tempest. Really cool set, really cool alt art. The only reason why it hasn't gone up in price yet is just because there's stock available in the UK and the US. As soon as that goes out of stock, I do think it's going to start pumping up in price. You cannot buy it on Pokemon Center UK right now, but you can pick it up on eBay for the same price as retail, just because there's a lot of it floating around at the moment still. Once this all starts to dry up on the secondary markets, we're really going to start to see it pump up in price. Look, you've got 2 for retail, then we're closer to 150, quite a few at 150, and then it's just going to jump, I would imagine, to around about the 190 mark once eBay starts selling out as well. I'm just going to finish off on Chilling Reign as well, because Chilling Reign is one of my favourite sets from Sword and Shield, and I don't think it gets talked about enough. I think Chilling Reign is one of those sets where we all expect it to do really well over time, and no one really talks about it, and I don't think many people are putting it away. I think the more experienced investors and collectors are putting away Chilling Reign, and I really don't think it's going to get much cheaper again. Let's have a look at the peak price of it. So it peaked at 231 a box in summer, and then it dropped right down to 200 a box towards the end of August, and then we're starting to creep up again, 214. So we're only about $15 away from its all-time high, and I do think it's just going to continue to creep. It's a really nice set. There's some really nice alt arts, chases, and you've got on your side that not a lot of people are putting it away, so it's not sold as often. It's more scarce, which means the price is more what they call inelastic in economics, which means the demand will stay relatively the same depending on price, which means it's more likely to spike up in price because there's less people selling it. And if there's suddenly a run on it and there's loads of demand, the price will just go crazy. Love Chilling Reign. Don't buy the Elite Trainer boxes at the moment. There's just so many of them around at the moment. The Elite Trainer boxes were printed into the ground for some reason, so I wouldn't buy the Elite Trainer boxes at this stage. Cheapest you can buy the booster box in the UK is now $207, $208 all in with postage. Absolutely nuts. Really just seen some serious gains over the last year or so. Around about 6-7 months ago, you could pick this up for retail for $140. So to see it now sitting comfortably over the £200 mark is pretty interesting to see. You can still snipe deals, so like I said, it's not a heavily traded set in the UK or the US, so you can sometimes snipe a bargain if someone's trying to sell one quickly. You can see someone picked one up just yesterday, in fact, for $185, pretty much $190 all in with postage, and then you can see that on the same day it's selling for $200. So you can pick yourself one up for a little 5% discount if you're patient. Okay guys, hope you guys enjoyed that. Obviously the big news is eBay cutting all fees for the UK, no final transaction fees. That's nuts. If that hits the US markets, Pokemon's going to explode again. It's a wonderful time to be in the market. It's a wonderful time to be a collector and part of this awesome Pokemon community. And I think that 2025 is going to be a really solid year for Pokemon. I think a lot more people are going to get back into Pokemon, and I think we're going to see Sword and Shield really start to pump up in price. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Have a wonderful day, and peace.